Welcome, welcome, George Conway.
Hello.
Hello
Back.
to you. Donald Trump last night.
Who? Oh, that guy, right. Everybody tries to forget about him. I
Uh,
noticed.
what happened last night?
I don't know. I think they had to let the old man rant or something, or else they'd have to listen to him. So they put him on TV and let him rant at the country.
So,
I think
what
it's, I think it's, I think we all often look to too complicated explanations
Yeah.
for what he's doing. And that, he's doing something clever or smart. I just think they can't control him and he just does whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think that's right too. And one of the things when I was watching that, what I was struck by was like, here's a really nervous guy who just made a ton of money. He knows that he didn't make that money in his first term, and there was a reason for that because none
Mhm.
of this is okay. And like, he just is panicked about the midterm and and he's just doing anything he can to try to keep Democrats from
Well,
winning back the
this is a
House.
common theme, actually. I'm sure you've interviewed scholars of authoritarianism on this show. I know
Sure.
you have. It's a common theme with authoritarians and authoritarian wannabes is that they realize that once they become the law and start violating the law because they become the law,
Right.
they have to stay the law. They have to stay in charge, or else somebody else will uncover what they did and prosecute them for it. And that's actually why he ran for re-election in 2020. I mean, that Maggie Haberman slipped it into a few stories in 2019 that one of the reasons why he was running is because he's afraid he'd be prosecuted. And then now in her book, her book with Jonathan Swan, that brilliant book, which I haven't finished, but I've read
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of it. I
really
mean, they say that was an extremely powerful motivation for him to run in 2024. And the same is true today. And as you point out, the grift is like never before. I mean, we saw something yesterday, news stories in the Wall Street Journal and in CNN and even other places where Truth Social is proposing to sell advanced access to his Truth Social post, to Trump's Truth
right.
Social post. So in essence, and to people on Wall Street. So basically, you're a trader. You can pay the president of the United States to make market moving posts. And not only that, you get to insider trading, advanced knowledge of those posts. So it's just,
Yeah.
I don't see the point in going through Truth Social. They should just write him a check. Let's all just write Donald Trump a check because that's what it is. We're just giving him money and he's taking it from us and he's taking it, any way he can through this kind of scheme or somebody's doing all these oil trades and
Yeah.
corporate trades, and we see
Yeah.
how much trading he's done in stocks and how many stocks he's traded in companies that he's plugged either through his office or on Truth Social. It's the most amazing money-making scheme we have ever seen.
Ever seen. I want to talk about the speech again for just another minute because
Yeah,
I watched 20 minutes of it and then I was like, I get the idea,
yeah,
right? The difference, I think, between this Trump and Trump 1.0, he continually seems exhausted to me.
yes,
Like exhausted.
yes,
He gets up there, he reads the teleprompter, his heart is not in it.
right.
I mean, what
He
was
has
your
trouble
take?
reading a teleprompter to begin with. The words are words he's never seen before.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people have speculated that he has some kind of a learning disorder that was never treated or never
Right.
addressed. And so he doesn't do very well reading from a teleprompter. And he doesn't have the brain power to kind of put anything together that's even better. And most importantly, he didn't really have anything in these documents. I mean, what he was just basically doing is just taking documents. I mean, I'm oversimplifying here, but I didn't, I just read some of the analyses of it without going through these documents. That basically he took documents that show that other countries have intended to affect our elections,
Right.
which we already knew. We knew the Chinese. Actually, they said that the evidence showed that the Chinese really didn't get around to that.
Right. That it
The
was
only
the
people who, right, the
Russians.
only people who got around to trying to actually do that in execution, even though, they mess around here and there, were the Russians who were trying to help Trump.
Yeah.
So, and when the
He
Biden and that the Chinese may have tried taken some effort against Biden, but they didn't really get around to doing things that
right.
would have mattered.
Right.
So we all know that there's possible attempts at foreign interference in our elections because a lot of people have big stakes riding on it.
Yeah.
But the one thing it showed is that there was no actionable fraud in 2016, 2020, or 2024. And that's the bottom line. There's nothing to protect the American people from. But he's manufacturing that because he's trying to create a pretext to screw around this fall.
With the elections.
Correct.
It struck me, though, that they didn't make anything up, which I was surprised by. Like, instead, they just misrepresented what was there in the hopes that no one would read it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, like, it's not everything that they published was stuff that we've seen before
They
that
just lied
either,
about it. Yeah.
right. So it's like, I
They
think
didn't
of it
make
as
up. They didn't make up lies in the sense that they
new
created
lies.
new lies like I mean, somebody was flicking switches in Italy or something.
Right.
Or they didn't do anything crazy. They just relied on these documents that didn't tell us anything.
Right. And they also they relied that people wouldn't read the documents, which is like kind of the Mueller report too. Remember, Bill Barr wrote this whole thing. The Mueller report doesn't say what you think it does, and then nobody read it, so it didn't matter.
Right. And then there are going to be people in the country who are going to say, oh my gosh, the president gave this speech, and they're not actually going to listen to it. They're just going to read whatever they read on Facebook or see on Newsmax after the fact. Well, even Fox News was being very, very careful with the stuff last night.
Yeah.
They had
What did you think?
They had 787 million reasons to be careful.
What did you think of that when they said?
No, I mean,
Fox News had it.
There are some lawyers. There are some non-brain dead lawyers that work at that company, and it was an expensive payment for them. The funny thing is, though, is their own viewers, if you talk to them, they have no idea that Fox paid $787 million for lying about the 2020 election.
Right.
They don't.
So basically, after the speech, it clicked to a Fox anchor who said that none of this is substantiated. Basically.
Yeah, that we have not had the opportunity to look at the documents or something like that.
Right.
Some disclaimer that the lawyers pre-wrote, which I understand if you're going to cover this thing live, you would have to do. It was smart actually not to cover it live, but they can't pretend that they can't do that either because their audience will say you're just like the rest of the mainstream media, and they're very sensitive to that.
And some mainstream media outlets, in fact, did not cover it live.
Yeah, I think the majority of them, most of them. And the coverage was even bad. I didn't actually see it, but I read that the coverage on CBS was pretty damning too, that the CBS was reporting that there was nothing there. So we'll see if Barry can fix that.
So let's talk about Trump. He is cruising into a midterm. He knows that he's got, sort of historic low approval ratings, and he's just sort of panicked. And instead of trying to do anything that might make voters more interested in voting for him, this is the play.
Yeah, I mean, because he doesn't know. I mean, he's really deteriorated. And he's really become more megalomaniacal than ever before, which is his thing. I mean, after the 2024 election and after the attempted assassination that he survived, I mean, he's gotten to this stage that people like Trump, deluded megalomaniacs, malignant narcissists, you've heard me talk about this 1,000 times, they get to the point where they think nothing matters, that they think that they can do anything. And so he thinks that he can do anything. He thinks he can just basically start a war without consequence. He thinks he can basically raise tariffs and lower tariffs without, he thinks he can say inflation doesn't matter. He can say, or that affordability is a hoax. And he thinks that somehow he will pull it out. Now, that doesn't mean he's not going to try to do illegal things to stay in power, but he doesn't know how to do the things that you would normally do, which would be to tell the truth and be thoughtful about the well-being of the American people. That's not his shtick. It never was. No. And he's now, more out there ever than before. The corruption is even more brazen than ever before. And he thinks he can pull a rabbit out of a hat by doing some kind of a scheme that he doesn't, he's not well enough or cognitively able or psychologically able to put out a real plan because he is a cognitively deteriorating sociopath, and sociopaths are purely impulsive. But he's going to do something. He knows what the object is. The object is not to let the other side win and not to count their
Right.
votes and to prevent them from voting. And he's going to figure out, he's going to try to do that. And this is, one early step in that process. And whether it involves ICE or the military or the Justice Department, I mean, anybody who comes up with an idea on how to fix this problem for Donald Trump is going to get them
Right.
at a hearing, and it could be legal, it could be illegal, probably illegal, and he's going to do whatever it takes. And we
So
have to
what
be
do you,
ready for that.
yeah. So that was what my next question is. Like, clearly he's given away the game here. We know
Yeah.
he's going to try something illegal. We know he's going to do
Yeah, I mean, look, it was
something.
like in 2020. People remember he was saying maybe we should postpone the
Right.
election. There's a lot of fraud of mail-in ballots, even though he would mail in his own ballot. Or vote early. There's a lot. He tells us very frequently. He
Right.
tells us what he's going to do. Like he told us that he was going to seek retribution
Right.
against people he perceives to be his political enemies. He told us he was going to glorify and pardon of January 6th. He always says this stuff because his mind is obsessed and it goes in only one direction. And so, that's why I always say that Donald Trump is the most truthful when he is at his most malevolent. And he's being
Yeah.
truthful to not in the sense that he's saying that there was real election fraud that he's trying to prevent, but he's truthful into telling us that he wants to do something about it and he wants to interfere with the next elections. It's just clear as day.
The thing I'm struck by is, and again, I can't tell if this is my own, like, being so read in on the news all the time, but
Right.
it feels as if people are less enthusiastic about him than they even were in the first term.
They are, yes. I mean, his own people are less enthusiastic about him than ever. There's no question
Yeah.
that you don't see if you drive out into, like, I mean, I don't drive
Yeah.
out
I
into the
was bringing,
wild, wild west, but I drove through parts of the East Coast, like, some parts of New
right,
Jersey. And I was
flags.
in Texas, actually for a couple of days a little while ago. You just don't see the flag. You don't see all the stuff that you saw before. At the
Yeah,
same time, on on the blue side, there is more exhaustion than
for
ever.
sure.
I,
For
and
sure.
and that is the thing. I mean, even in, I mean, I saw it in New York City over the last few months. You can, it's people don't want to talk about it. They're tuning this out because it's so
Yeah.
bad. And that's why, I mean, where are the No Kings rallies lately? There's
Right.
been one for like, there should be these rallies. I mean, if you had an engaged populace, you'd be having these rallies every week or every 2 weeks.
Right.
And, I mean, I love the ones that I've been to, but you just get the feeling that there are people who are just thinking, we just have to wait this guy out for 2 years. And that's something, I've been beating that drum for a while. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know that we make it through 2 years more of this.
Yeah, I've heard about the flags, right? They don't have the same, they're
Yeah.
taking down the Trump flags. And
Yeah.
that's partially, I think, because Trump told them he was going to make things cheaper,
Right.
and things are not any cheaper.
Right.
And that was, go on.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not fun anymore, right? He's
Right.
he's not fun anymore. He's boring, he's monotone, he says the same, we've heard him say these same things, and now he's saying them in a weaker fashion than ever possible. He's got he's low energy, low T clearly,
Right.
when he delivers these lines, and it's not fun anymore. I mean, it was fun back in 2017 and 2018 because people like Molly would get so pissed off and
Right. 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 Right.
but he's not drawing that kind of reaction anymore. And it's like we've been saying the same. Both sides have been saying the same thing now for 9 or 10 years. We say he's a criminal nutcase, and they say, yeah, but nobody cares. And that's
Right.
the problem. That the apathy, I think, is what's the most dangerous, um, element of the current situation.
You said this thing to me once that I'm struck by, which is you said Trump would ultimately destroy the Republican Party.
Yes,
We're watching now these
it's
confirmation.
right on schedule. Right on schedule. I think.
So
Yes.
we're watching these confirmation hearings of Todd Blanche, who in a normal world would not be AG, but in Trump world is considered to be much less crazy than Bondi, maybe.
Right.
I mean, hard to know. But I wonder, we're watching like these like last three sane Republicans who have lost their seats in primary contests because Trump has
Hmm.
gone, he wants Cornyn replaced by Paxton, who
Right.
has been, had an impeachment trial against him. Right.
Right.
I mean, they're just the craziest people. When you watch that, does it feel like the destruction of the Republican Party?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's falling apart. I mean, look, he's always going to have a base of like 20 to 25% at least. But you can see he's the most unpopular president in American history, which means that he's mainly lost popularity among independents, but he's lost a lot of popularity among his base. He's lost swing voters. I mean, the problem really is that he's got no way to win these people back.
Right.
And then you've got the fact that he can't hold the party together because they're less afraid of him than before. It's not new, and they know that he looks weaker every day. Maybe he serves out his term, maybe he doesn't. We don't know, for impeachment or otherwise, and people are less afraid of him. And then you have the question of who gets the mantle afterward, and you're seeing these cracks in the party. You see
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson purporting to form a new third party. You see all the influencers, social influencers on the right saying, well, what happened with this stupid war? You told us no foreign wars. They're just
Right.
all these things. This is a disparate group of the people who support Trump. I mean, it consists of people who are completely tuned out,
Right.
and just hate everybody. You've got fundamentalists who have deluded themselves into thinking that a rapist is somehow going to be their man of God. You've got rich people who just want to see their taxes lowered. These people
Yeah.
have all they're all going to go in different directions. I mean,
Right.
you've got Vance, and then you've got Rubio. Everybody has their critics of them. You're going to have I got a fundraising email from Ron DeSantis yesterday. I mean, bless his heart, he thinks there are going to be elections in 2028. Wow. So, there's nobody who can pull off the insanity the way Trump did,
Yeah.
which is good. And it's bad for the Republican Party because they're just going to splinter in a bunch of different directions. And I've thought for some time, I thought maybe actually 10, 15 years ago, at some point, the two-party system that we have is going to break up and a new two-party system will form, which happens every so often in American history. I think that's what we're seeing. I think we're definitely seeing we've definitely seen a movement of voters in different directions during the past 10 years. I think there are a lot of educated Republicans who are now Democrats or Democratic
Hmm.
leaning high. Um, and I think there are a lot of working class Democrats who voted for Obama who became hardcore Trumpers. And that exchange of people is still happening. And we're still seeing kind of a long-term shift in political alignment. And I think we're seeing the destruction of the Republican Party. And then I think we see cracks in the Democratic Party with the fights
Right.
over the DSA. I don't think that's as severe as on the Republican side because I think it's more regional than a
Yeah.
lot of people in Manhattan believe.
Right.
Um,
True.
you know, but but I do think there's some political realignment going on, and I don't think we know what these parties are going to look like, or even necessarily what they're going to be called. We're always going to have two political parties because we have a political system that is, based upon single member districts and first past the post voting. So two parties sort of the country equilibrates at two parties, but I don't know what those two parties are going to look like in 15 or 20 years. I hope to be around to see that out and read what Heather Cox Richardson has written about it by then.
Yeah.
But
But it,
we don't know.
but it, I think it's a good point. And another part of the cracks in the Trump administration are these leaks that are starting to happen now. The JD Vance son helicopter story, like that kind of thing would not have happened in the first year of Trump 2.0.
Well, yes, in the first year of Trump 2.0, that would not have happened. I think people can see the light at the end of the tunnel, so they're a
Yeah.
little less afraid. And I think the other thing that's going on is there is some actual, I mean, you look at Maggie Haberman's book, it's incredible how much talking to the press there was.
Yeah.
And I think part of what's going on is these people don't, they're all heading for the hill, so they're telling their stories now. I think they're trying to clean their consciences by telling their stories, but I also think that some of them tell the stories because they don't see anything wrong with it, or they're just
Yeah.
excited at being in where the action is, even though it's basically action that's destructive of the country and involves essentially corruption and moral degradation. So,
George
thank
Conway.
you. Always great.
Thank you.